Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon from WKYT. Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey reporting. UK police are trying to track down several suspects after shots were fired on campus last night.
It happened around 10 o'clock in the Kerwin-Blanding dorm complex. Police say 2 or 3 shots were fired, and the shots came from a group of 6 to 8 people. WKYT's Mark Barber is live on campus with our top story at 12:30. Mark?
Good afternoon, Bill and Barbara. As you just mentioned, police are still searching for the shooter, but they say they did find his weapon, a pellet gun, near Baldwin Hall. Now, investigators believe the shooter tossed it there after firing several shots outside a dorm in the Kerwin and Blanding complex. UK police are hoping the public will help them find the man who pulled the trigger. Investigators have now released a surveillance photo of a person of interest that they want to question. They tell us he could be the man who fired an airsoft gun outside a dorm around 10 o'clock last night. At this time, investigators say they do not know what or who the armed man was shooting at. We're told the armed man was in a group of 6 to 8 college-age men. UK police tell us they don't know if they are students. After the pellet gun was fired, investigators say the group took off in 2 different directions. While police and canines searched for the men, students on UK's South Campus were told to stay inside their dorm rooms for 2 hours.
Intense, weird, unexpected, dangerous. Just a lot of things happening, all at once, so.
Investigators tell us if they arrest the shooter, he will most likely face charges of wanton endangerment and terroristic threatening. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Now, no one reported any injuries. And again, officers are asking anyone who recognized the person of interest to call them.
Fire swept through a city block in downtown Williamsburg in the overnight hours. The fire broke out at a flower shop at the corner of Main and 2nd Streets downtown. At least one business was gutted by the fire, but crews say it could have been a lot worse if it hadn't been for quick action. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has our report from Whitley County.
Whitley County Coroner Andy Crowley just happened to be going by this block of downtown Williamsburg when he noticed the fire and the smoke, and he called 911. Now, the fire chief tells me that they believe that the fire originated somewhere inside the flower shop, a business that has been here for decades and owned by the current owners for the last 10 years or so. They say they will continue on, but they're going to have to find a new place to house their business.
Pretty intense, and most of it's either pretty much been affected by the smoke or the fire or water one, so all of it's been pretty much affected at some point.
Now, the fire also left some damage in the Masonic Lodge, mainly just smoke damage. They will be able to clean that up. An attorney's office was also slightly damaged in the fire. In Whitley County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. The Williamsburg Police Chief and Fire Chief are saying that the cause is under investigation, but at this point they do not suspect anything suspicious.
Well, a Lexington family escaped their burning home overnight. The fire happened around 3 this morning on Vale Drive. That's off Harrodsburg Road. Fire crews focused on the 2nd floor and in the attic, putting out that fire. Firefighters say they are still not sure how it started, but that the home is not safe to live in now.
If you're planning on flying out of Bluegrass Airport, you could still feel the effects of Friday's air traffic control fire near Chicago. United Airlines has 3 cancellations today, 1 arrival and 2 departures, some for this afternoon and 1 outbound for this evening. This comes after an attempted suicide and fire in Illinois that has led to the cancellation of thousands of flights and backed up the national system. Now the FAA is replacing the entire computer network, and it will take some while to do that there at the control center.
A crowdfunding website is helping teachers' wallets here in Kentucky. The website, donorschoose.org. It's a site where teachers can ask for donations for projects or items for their classrooms, and donors can pick and choose whom they'd like to help. The site was spotlighted in the state auditor's report on the Fayette County school system. Central Kentucky teachers say it's a way to raise funds and a good teaching tool for the students.
Something like this affords them an opportunity to do things just for their classroom.
I've had some people that I don't even know that have donated, and it's such a uplifting thing to see that people care about education and they care about kids.
Tonight on WKYT News at 6, meet a Clark County teacher looking to add a little comfort to her classroom.
The longtime chancellor of the University of Kentucky Medical Center, 84-year-old Dr. Peter Bosworth, has died. In his almost 25-year tenure as vice president and chancellor, Dr. Bosworth spearheaded the addition of the UK Sanders Brown Center on Aging and the Lucille Parker Markey Cancer Center. Dr. Bosworth retired in the mid-1990s. A memorial service is scheduled for Sunday, October 12th at 2 o'clock at Second Presbyterian Church. Well, pediatricians are giving new advice for preventing teenage pregnancies.
And scientists pinpoint an early sign of pancreatic cancer. Ebony Williams has details in this Better Living report.
The American Academy of Pediatrics is now recommending sexually active adolescents be given a long-acting reversible contraceptive, such as the IUD or under-the-skin implant, as a first option for preventing pregnancy. The group says the IUD, which provides 3 to 10 years of protection, has been shown to be safe and effective for young girls. Scientists in Boston say they've discovered an early sign of pancreatic cancer. Researchers say certain amino acids increase in the body before the disease is diagnosed and symptoms appear. Scientists say the change isn't big enough to warrant a test for early detection, but they hope the discovery will help explain how pancreatic cancer affects the rest of the body. Researchers say children who are active for at least 60 minutes a day after school are showing positive results. The University of Illinois study looked at more than 200 kids between 7 and 9 and took brain scans before and after the test. Doctors say children who took part in moderate to vigorous physical activities saw marked improvements in their ability to pay attention and avoid distraction. Those are some of the day's top health stories. Ebony Williams, CBS News, New York.
All right, good to have you with us on WKYT on this Monday afternoon, and there's a lot more coming up. We're cooking up a delicious treat this midday, a preview of the incredible food show that's coming to town.
Also, how to choose a winning horse. Who should you listen to when you're making your pick? We'll have some Keeneland tips.
And the music of 10-year-old Hallie Nolan coming up from Woodsongs.
And right now it's about the warm temperatures. Go about 5-6 days away and it's about cold, not cool, but cold temperatures. And I'll show you how low we go in our forecast coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
We are still looking at that one shower, and I mean one, out and about in eastern Kentucky, and that's it. I mean, things look pretty good outside, but let's go ahead and zoom on in. If it still sticks together like we talked about earlier, doesn't look like it's going to, but if it does, you might get some sprinkles in Newfoundland across Highway 7, and that's going to run right up to Bruin there in Elliott County. But other than that, it looks like this. London, Frankfort, Lexington, all looks great. Richmond, we're just fine. 77 degrees right now in Richmond, looking down I-75. 24-hour planner. Throughout the rest of the afternoon, we'll be in the lower 80s. And some of us over in the east-southeast, due to the cloud cover, in the upper 70s. It'll still be fairly warm for this time of year, which is right there in the mid-70s. You'll feel that this evening. The evening will be great. I mean, very pleasant weather expected. And then we go to tomorrow, kind of compare these two. Pretty much the same day is what we're going to be looking at for tomorrow, except no rain chance tomorrow. Small chances today. I mean, we're talking east and southeast with about 20-30%. And then we're looking through much of the work week, not all of it, but much of it. It's going to be dry and pretty warm. And then that big cold front comes sliding in. Still looks like late into Thursday night. We're talking nighttime hours, so I don't think much of the day Thursday you're going to see any rain. It's really during the night and off into Friday. That's when this big front kind of swings in here, a lot of warm air. Kind of out ahead of this. And then once that front pushes through, there's your timeline. Friday, that's when that cool air comes seeping on in. And once that happens, I mean, you're talking temperatures there in the upper 50s, lower 60s for highs. Not lows, but for highs. And remember, this morning, only a few of us got to the upper 50s. So that just shows you. So go ahead and keep that coat handy because overnight you could be right there in the 30s. See how it turns out. Here's a picture from the weekend. Gerald Abney from Nicholasville. There's your sun dogs right there to the right and left, typically where they are. You've probably seen that before, and that's what they're called. 7-day forecast. The next few days look dry. We'll sit there in the low 80s. Looks pretty good. It'll just be a little bit warmer. Then we head toward Thursday. Late rain Friday is when it really comes in, which is the opening day of Keeneland. Kicks off about 1 o'clock, so hopefully we can get that rain out during the morning hours and push it on out. Big game going on at UK. Yeah, you better take your jacket. It's going to be chilly during that evening time.
All right, we'll be ready for that. Thank you very much, Micah. Good, fresh, local food. You can get a taste of it at the Incredible Food Show.
It's coming to Lexington in just 2 weeks. Chef Bridget Nguyen is here with a preview, cooking up a delicious dish for us. Oh, it smells great. Thank you so much for coming in. Always love to have you here.
I love being here, and I love talking about the food show. This is my favorite Saturday every fall, and I just have the best time, and I think Lexingtonians really look forward to this.
I think a lot of people agree with you. It is a lot of fun.
What can people expect if they have never been and they stop by?
Oh my gosh, come with an empty stomach, because if you're one of the first 300 people to arrive bright and early, the show is Saturday the 11th, 9 to 5. So if you're one of the first 300 people through the door, free Kentucky Proud breakfast. And then, Bill, you know, it's just a full day of fun food events, whether it's visiting with over 100 different marketplace exhibitors, which are some of our favorite Kentucky food producers, or there's so many different seminars. There's a quick tips booth. There's also the Kentucky Heritage Stage. There's always going to be a food demonstration or some sort of demo where you can pick up some sort of cool tip, and then the Pioneer Woman is coming.
Oh, I know. She's got a great following here, too, doesn't she?
Kentucky loves Ree Drummond, yes.
Well, we also love Bridget. You know
Thank you,
that.
Barbara.
And
what
you
you've
always
cooked
love
up.
to take good Kentucky food and turn it into something wonderful. What have you done?
I sure do. Well, what I really wanted to do was take something that the Pioneer Woman would make. So she really does a lot of rustic, simple cooking that feeds a crowd. So I took her very popular pear crisp and then Kentuckified it, of course. So this is a Kentucky Proud pear crisp. And I took Reed Valley Orchard pears. I'm kind of a lazy cook, so I didn't even peel these. Just diced them up, threw them together with a little bit of local honey. So instead of sugar, just a tiny bit of honey. And then a crisp topping is typically flour, butter, and sugar. And I decided to go ahead and work in some pecans. We've got a woman making bourbon pecans here in the state. And then also some local granola, which is so fun. So it's so easy. Cast iron is such a great rustic way to serve this.
And what are you going to do with this after you have it? You're going to serve it up with something special, too.
Yes, so you could just take this straight from the oven to the table, and then some local Kentucky stoneware. You can buy all of this at the food show, too. There's great shopping, and you can buy cast iron there. You could buy beautiful gifts there. And then Lexington's favorite ice cream is Crank and Boom. This is their bourbon and honey ice cream.
Bourbon and honey on top of this.
So, I mean, this is the perfect fall dessert. And then you can really just elegantly entertain in a very local manner, a little extra honey, maybe some pecans, and then serve it with a little local tea and coffee. We just have so many cool options.
It's a perfect thing. We're going to be down there, too, and looking forward to it. Not this Saturday, but the next Saturday.
That's right, the 11th, and I hear you all will, not only do you work together, but you cook together. That is so exciting.
Well, we're going to try.
We'll try our
See how
best.
it goes. Barb may have to take the lead in that dance, but we'll see.
Well, I will be first in line at your booth.
You're always
Well,
great,
you're
Bridget.
good to come by. We appreciate it. It's good to see you. Well, if you're headed out to Keeneland this Friday, you won't want to miss our next guest.
Tips for a successful day next on WKYT. We're glad you're with us today. Keeneland's fall meet opens this Friday, and whether you're a novice or a pro, we have some tips that might help your time at the track be more successful.
There you go. And we're joined today by Ed DeRosa. He's Director of Marketing at Brisnet.com. Thanks for coming. We appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Always a great week in the Bluegrass when Keeneland opens.
Exciting time.
Absolutely. Well, as people are thinking about Keeneland and getting ready to head out on Friday for opening day, what do they need to keep in mind? Do you need to do some homework before you head out?
I think so. Even if you're not planning on, hey, I'm a hardcore gambler and I want to know who's going to win every race, to me, there's a big advantage of preparing before you get to the track where you can buy the program. But ahead of time, I love sending people to brisnet.com because there is a place where you can look at the past performances, get familiar with the horses running in the race. And it's, you know, a lot of people feel daunted. They see all these numbers and like, oh my God, how can I make sense of that? But the good thing is there's a summary at the top, and it tells you speed last race, that's who the fastest horse was, prime power, that's who Brisnet likes. Between those two things, you can make yourself sound pretty smart.
Well, you know, Ed, people have all kinds of different strategies. They like the color of the horse. They like the color of the silks. They look at the numbers. They like the jockey, or really study the numbers. Does it come out better in any given strategy?
Well, I think the thing with Keeneland is you want to go out there and have fun. So if for you, picking a horse based on the color of its cap or saddle towel is how you're going to enjoy yourself, I'd never want people to not do that. But if you want to win some money, to me, preparing and being aware of the horses going to the race is tantamount to having a great day. So I do think it helps to be prepared, and it's a lot more fun when you pick a horse and it wins.
Well, and a lot of people are always looking for that, you know, that great tip. Who should you listen to?
I always tell people, listen to yourself. There's a lot of people out there now with social media. You can go on Twitter, and there's any number of track touts, including myself, who will tell you who might win a race. But at the end of the day, you want to own that pick. You want it to be yours. And don't make 2 or 3 picks in a race. You see that when you go out to Keeneland. People pick 2, 3 horses. They want to be right. I don't want to be right. I want to win. And the best way to do that is to have a horse and stick with it.
Well,
I like your attitude.
You'll be around on site at the track during the week?
I can't wait to be out there Friday. And, you know, I mentioned social media, and I'm out there always tweeting my ideas. And, you know, the important thing is learn from it. Maybe you don't use my pick, but you listen to what someone says. Katie Michelay, Mike Battaglia are out there giving their picks for Keeneland. Learn something from it, and next time you make a pick, it'll pay off.
All right. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Coming next, our Wood Songs preview is just ahead. Good music.
And Micah has a final look at your afternoon forecast next on WKYT.
Want to check out that weather this afternoon? Certainly is beautiful now.
Yes, it is. And we do have some clouds over toward the east and southeastern zones. I think that's where we have that slight chance of rain you see there on the screen. The rest of us sitting right around 80 degrees. So all in all, it's a pretty good looking afternoon. I don't see many issues. If you do get some rain over you, it's not very hard, and it doesn't take long to move it on out. So we're pretty good. The mild evening comes in store, and then we do it all over again the next few days until that gold blast. Bring on the gold. Yeah, this cold blast comes on in.
Pretty golden forecast till we get to the weekend.
Till we get to the weekend.
All right, thank you.
We've been warned, though.
Yeah.
Well, The Young and the Restless is next, followed by The Talk at 2.
And remember, the news is always on at WKYT.com. We leave you this midday with the music of 10-year-old Hallie Nolan from Alabama. She's part of a new segment on the show called Wood Songs Kids. Every week that show features a young musician between the ages 6 and 16.
Enjoy the music. Enjoy your day.
In constant sorrow